Elden Ring features multiple factions working towards their goals in the lands between, whether that goal ranges from chaos to control, and this is shown through the variety of paths and endings that the player can take. The Godskins have lost a great deal of their power before the events of the game begin, but they persist even with the source of their power sealed away. With connections to the Gloam-Eyed Queen and a very literal name, the Godskins have a history that's worth exploring. Warning: this article contains spoilers for Elden Ring. The world of Elden Ring was created with help from George R. R. Martin, the author of A Song of Ice and Fire. This partnership has produced a world with a long and complex history with the potential for more lore to come in Elden Ring DLC, which has been leaked. The game takes place in the lands between, however, most of the events that shaped the region and its people occurred before the player's arrival. While the notable actions of the Godskins happen far in the past, they continue to work toward their goals despite losing the bulk of their power. Elden Ring creates a web that connects elements in the game to weave a complex story. The Godskins are closely related to the Gloam-Eyed Queen, Destined Death, Malekith, and Marika. True to From Software's style, lore can be difficult to parse since it requires players to read item descriptions, such as the Godskin Apostle armor, which says, "The Apostles, once said to serve Destined Death, are wielders of the god-slaying Black Flame." But after their defeat by Malekith, the Black Blade, the source of their power was sealed away. Finding information has an extra layer of difficulty due to Elden Ring's vast, open-game world. However, the effort to find information reveals that the Godskins are more than merely a group that wears skin as clothing. The Godskins' connection to Elden Ring's Destined Death before it was sealed in Malekith's blade. The Godskins drew power from Destined Death for their black flames. These black flames, that used the power of Destined Death, were able to kill any god with which they came in contact, because the black flames were the embodiment of Destined Death before it was sealed by Malekith. Given the use of this power and the description of Destined Death, the Godskins likely see themselves as keepers of the natural order, with the Gloam-Eyed Queen leading them in their efforts to preserve said order. However, some of them abused this power, and it resulted in their defeat. Thanks to Melina, players aren't maidenless in Elden Ring, but she also gives the player a lot of information about the lands between and its history, including key information about Destined Death that helps when trying to understand the Godskins and their motivations. She says that Destined Death is death indiscriminate. Since death will come to all things regardless of their status, the Godskins are maintaining the natural order of the lands between by killing gods and demigods. The fall of Elden Ring's fearsome Godskins. Although the Godskins exist, when the player enters the lands between, their powers are greatly diminished compared to when they were in their prime. The Godskins were at their full power before Elden Ring takes place, and the Age of the Erdtree, when Marika was an emperor instead of a god and vessel for the Elden Ring. While Marika may not have ascended to godhood yet at that time, she had plenty of reasons to be wary of the Godskins. Marika's rival for godhood was the leader of the Godskins, the Gloam-Eyed Queen, who is also called their mother. The Gloam-Eyed Queen's status in the present time of the lands between is unknown, but the Two Fingers chose her as an emperor and as well before the Elden Ring had a vessel. The Gloam-Eyed Queen and her followers having access to a powerful Elden Ring incantation originating from death itself. Having reasons to go against Marika made them rather threatening to her, and their abuse of power was a problem for the lands between as a whole. Marika's sense of self-preservation led to her not only bringing about the downfall of the Godskins by targeting the source of their power, but also solidified her status in the lands between, so she was chosen by the Greater Will as the Elden Ring's vessel, and therefore made into a god. Since Marika was given a shadow, Malekith, as an emperor, she ordered him to defeat the Godskins and seal away the source of their power, thus leading to the weakened Godskins players encounter in Elden Ring. The status of the Godskins in the time of Elden Ring, unless she appears in content from DLC or an Elden Ring sequel, whether the Glowmide Queen is alive or not will remain unknown along with her true identity. However, there's potential for the Godskins to reclaim the power they once had depending upon which ending is chosen by players or by From Software in the event of future story content. In endings that restore the Elden Ring, then Destined Death is also restored, since it is only one rune that joins many in the composition of the titular artifact. Even in endings without the ring being restored, it's likely that Destined Death still returns to the lands between to rid the realm of the madness that accompanies immortality, such as with Rannis' Age of Stars Elden Ring ending, where she creates a new order that is far away from the people over which it will rule. In that case, the Godskins might be able to use the power of Destined Death once more for their black flame incantations, since it's not made clear if the Glowmide Queen needs to be alive for the Godskins to wield the god-slaying black flames again. Due to these variables, the status of the Godskins past the end of Elden Ring is unclear. Although, their return to killing gods and the return of the Glowmide Queen could make for interesting DLC content. With the Elden Beast dead and the Elden Ring either in the possession of the Tarnished or destroyed, Destined Death has returned to the lands between, and that can lead to a brighter future for some of its denizens. The Godskins have the chance to return to keeping the natural order in balance by delivering death to gods and demigods, and perhaps they can bring back the Glowmide Queen as their leader if she's still alive. From Software has the talent of crafting games with so much depth that players are finding new details well past their first playthrough, so the story evolves as more information is found. Because of this, players have plenty to explore while waiting for new Elden Ring content.